Alex, congratulations on the win, man. How good did that feel to get back in the win column?
It felt great, and besides just W's and L's, it's just nice to be back here at the Mohegan and being in the cage where I belong.
and you look back to form tonight. Your last fight, you suffered your first pro loss. So, did you come into this fight with any extra added motivation or mindset, having gone through that experience?
A lot of guys will say after wins and their undefeated records and say, I'm not looking so much at the past, and I try to put that same sort of mindset into effect. I'm not coming in here for vengeance or anything. It's a new day. We're always coming into a match like we're 0-0, whether that match before was an L or was a W. So trying to come into it 0-0 and just learning lessons along the way.
And you've displayed great grappling throughout your career. Were you surprised that he engaged you so much in that department early?
I was a little caught off guard because me and the coaching staff have really talked about, I'm going to have to chase down guys and make sure that I engage them in grappling, because everyone's looking at me in my previous spouts and say, oh, he's a grappler, I should stay away. But this opponent came, engaged me in grappling, got the first takedown, got a couple really nice mat returns. But like I was saying in the ringside interview, wrestling isn't all about just getting the takedown. Sometimes you got to be able to push through those positions, make sure that you're putting pressure on even though you're on the bottom, and I feel like we succeeded there.
And talk me through the submission. Obviously a beautiful straight armbar there. Is that something that you work on a lot?
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. Usually when I'm taken down, there's everyone has kind of their favorite spot, whether it's getting their full guard or getting half guard. I'm a real big fan of that twister, looking at the legs and making sure that I'm keeping a lot of pressure on their head, making sure they can't see what I'm up to. And yeah, it's really easy for that straight arm to fall in there, and sometimes if they get lazy with that and they're keeping their arms in, I can go for the head, that north-south. It makes a lot of really easy transitions, so I'd say it's a common one for me.
All right, we'll take a few more questions here from the media joining us virtually tonight. Ed, go ahead.
He's making his way there. He's getting there.
Hang on 1 second, Ed. All right, now go ahead.
Congrats, Alex. Just to piggyback on Nolan's question about the grappling, you snatched up that leg fairly early in the round, and it seemed like you were committed to not letting it go. So I'm just wondering, what was he doing that made you unconcerned about shots to hammer fist or anything like that? You seem confident to know that you're going to wind up on top.
Yeah, actually, that's really insightful. I think part of that strategy is if I do let up on the leg, although it frees up my hands, it lets him know hey, I've got control. I've got control of this guy. I can drop hammer fists on him while I control him with my hips. If I maintain control of that leg and I'm crowding his hips, it's making him think, oh snap, I got to make sure that I maintain control with my hands. And in that way, I'm able to avoid the hammer fists and the punches and the elbows.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Andrew?
Hey Alex, congratulations. First and foremost, tremendous victory. Secondly, tremendous handlebars, my friend. And I just wanted to say, that finish, how good did it feel to get that armbar locked in? Of course, this is your first career armbar submission.
Again, in that reverse twister, there's lots of stuff to look for. And actually earlier, before I committed to the full mount, which turned into that rear naked, and then back to that side mount, that twister, I was going for that arm again. It's not a commitment to set it up. It's just kind of waiting for them to put their hand in the right place, and it's nice that I don't have to put myself out of position to get there. Once that arm goes straight though, and it gets past his hip, then it's just taking my time, making sure my pressure's staying on his chest, and it feels really nice to know once it's past there, it's just here it comes. He's gonna tap soon. He's gonna tap eventually, and keeping pressure on. It's nice to be in control that way and know that the win is coming. All you gotta do is stay the course.
Jeff?
Jeff Brantley from the Man in the Cage podcast. Congrats, Alex. He was really trying to keep you on the mat with everything he had in that first round there. Did you feel that he was going to tire at some point? Did you start to feel him tire?
Yeah, and then like I was saying before, wrestling isn't always, standing up neutral, taking the guy down and sprawl. Sometimes you got to be able to put pressure on from the bottom. You got to be able to put pressure on from on top, from the bottom, from everywhere, as long as you're pushing into him. That's the name of the game in wrestling. And I knew that he was trying to put all of his effort into keeping me down. And I just needed to make sure that I kept that pressure on him. I got that nice step behind takedown, and then once I got on top, I could feel that, he needed to take a break after trying to keep me down that whole time, and I knew that was the time to attack and go for my submissions and my strikes from top.
2 more. Ronald?
This is Ronald E. Smith. Alex, just 2 questions for you. One, you brought up before so that you learned so much about yourself. So I would love to know, to clarify yourself, that what have you learned about yourself through this? And do you hope for a quick turnaround for the summer?
So what I've learned about myself is that, I said this before in interviews, I try not to focus on what my opponent's going to bring to the table. I'm always trying to build on my skill set and to force my fight onto everyone else. What we've learned from that previous loss and from this win tonight is that, I'm best when I'm keeping that pressure on, when I'm up in the guy's face and we're engaging in close grappling. I'm at a division where I'm usually going to be the short guy, so it's a lot easier for me to stay in close, make sure that we're not playing the jab game and I'm throwing punches, throwing strikes, throwing takedown attempts, throwing everything I got from that close range. With that being said, that close range treats me nice in that I'm not too banged up. I didn't take too many blows, feeling pretty good. So hopefully we'll take a couple days off as a well-deserved rest, get some food back in me, and we'll be back training and getting ready for the next one soon.
Last one, Dylan.
Hey there, Alex. Appreciate you making some time.
Yeah, no problem, Dylan.
In the lead up to this fight, though, we were talking and we were touching on the affinity for Arby's there, and you were talking about filling up on some food. When do you think you're going to send her for that meat mountain sandwich?
Dylan, I'm going to throw this out there. You threw me for a loop after that day. I wasn't ready for the questions that you were bringing to the table, but I do enjoy them. There's an Arby's establishment a little bit down the road from where I'm currently living, so after a flight back home, I'll probably stop on the way before I even drop my bags off from traveling and get myself a meat mountain, maybe an orange creamsicle shake.
That sounds awesome, man. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Thanks for the time, Alex. Congrats.